All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at StopThePirates.blogspot.com. I know it's good to talk about remedies and accepted for value and these type of things, but I think it's also important too to kind of go back to the beginning and understand where this is all coming from and how we got here. So, federal and state governments are not real; they're privately owned corporations called governments. Judges are privately employed administrators called judges. And the law is nothing more than their corporate regulations that are called statutes. Courthouses are no longer public buildings, but are privately owned structures called judicial centers, and or Department of Justice. And all of the prisons mostly are privately owned. They're privately owned facilities that do not mention the city or county anywhere in its name. So public defenders, prosecutors, and police are not there to protect and serve the public, but they're there to protect and serve the private corporations. Period. It's an extortion operation. It's racketeering. You have to understand that. I mean, that's the big one for people to come to grips with. Are there bad people out there doing bad things? Yes. Can you call the police and have them help you? Yeah, but they can only do something after it's already done. They can't prevent it. Anyway, judges, prosecutors, and the clerk make money off of your conviction, and the private owners of the prison make money off of your incarceration. That's why in the United States of America, on our plantation here, we only have 5% of the world's population. We have 25 to 30% of the world's prison population. So it's a big money-making operation. These are privately owned, they're publicly traded companies, these prisons. So they have to keep them full. Actually, they're mandated to keep them full. And anyone in Congress who writes a new bill, which is another corporate statute, those statutes are automatically there to laws to get more people into the prison system. So it's a huge operation. If you ever go into a court, just even like a traffic court, you'll sit there and there'll be people lined up in the morning. You go to the one here in Orange County, California. There's a line going down the street for a traffic court. Hundreds and hundreds of people file into this courtroom, and then the machine just starts cranking away once you get in there, and then, everybody stands up with a Freemason in the black robe, comes in and sits down. A guy told me once, who was a retired judge, he goes, no self-respecting, even a traffic court judge would retire with anything less than like $30 million in the bank. I mean, these people are raking it in. So anyway, yeah, you just sit there and watch the whole thing just crank away, just doing business. Guilty, not guilty, no contest, $500, $600, $1,000, $1,200, go to jail. Probation, go to jail. It's for traffic tickets. I mean, can you imagine that on a daily basis? They're just cranking it out. So anyway, yeah, they make money off your incarceration. Everything you sign with a wedding signature becomes a negotiable instrument in their world and is converted into a guaranteed asset like a security or a bond, because you are a real flesh and blood living person. Many judges and law firms own the government buildings and the prisons. So understand that too. If you're ever charged with a statute or a code, these are all bar attorneys, and they all belong to the same, it's like a pipe fitters union, and they have their own rules and their own codes, and that's why you have to be licensed to use their codes, because they're all copywritten. What else was I going to say? Your presence in a prison also fuels a mutual fund investment, because they do issue bonds on a default judgment. All crimes are commercial. They're all civil. They say they're criminal, but they're not, because they all have a monetary value attached to them. Even murder goes for like $4 or $5 million. Big business. So it's just like the cancer industry. People think that you watch it on TV and they're going to these run for the cure things, and the Pink Ribbon, I forget which, the Pink Ribbon Association just celebrated like its 30th anniversary. When are people going to get it in their heads that there probably is a cure? You just start Everything is cause and effect. If you start eating shit, you probably won't get cancer. And but people, I mean, and it's a money making business, and they will never officially come out with a cure because it's a business. And I don't know. In some kind of sick world, I think people want to get diagnosed with cancer. Talk to this lady. Oh, I got to go back to the doctor. They got a new high tech machine that will check me for breast cancer. I'm thinking, well, they paid all the money for the machine. You're not going to do it because you don't have cancer. They're going to tell you do have cancer, and how are you going to know anyway? If millions of people every year get falsely diagnosed with cancer just so doctors can make money off you. Anyway, so your presence in the prison also fuels mutual fund investments, like I was getting back to. They issue bonds when you don't pay the $5 million or whatever the bail amount is. Bid bond, a performance bond, a payment bond. Those are securitized and insured and sold on the open market as mutual fund investments. And in their world, everything is fictional. So therefore, your living status creates substance in their world, both physically and in writing. So remember that those land trusts. I'm going to get into that, but the prosecutor levels files or a charge against you, and against the trust that was set up at your birth with the clerk. The clerk documents the case and appoints a judge as an administrator for the trust. You are brought before them and asked if you are the named person on the indictment, and they promptly advise you of your rights and the charge. It's actually a birth certificate that's on trial and being prosecuted, but you don't know that because the court-appointed lawyer or privately hired lawyer never tell you. Upon your conviction, and you will be convicted, they have a 98% conviction rate. And fuck all this, you're innocent until proven guilty. No, I mean, there is no innocent. Go in when you're standing before the Freemason in the black robe and say, he'll ask you, or go, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Oh, I'm 100% innocent, Your Honor. No, guilty or not guilty. Gilded or not gilded, are you going to pay or you're not going to pay? And you already said you understood the charge, so you're already in dishonor, and you're fucked. They don't even tell us any of this shit going into school because they want us like fucking mushrooms, feed us shit and keep us in the dark, so they can use us as their income stream. Anyway, the living you is a beneficiary of this trust, and the corporate you is on trial. They consider that those trusts and are for them. If they can access it, you never receive the benefits of the trust, and you are sentenced to prison, probation, and or fined. Rebellious and free-thinking individuals are usually ostracized, censored, punished, or stonewalled at every turn because they refuse to accept the propaganda and the slave-driving techniques being forced upon them by their private corporate owners. United States government, corporation. We're all forced to submit to forced education, wherein the subject content has been fictionalized and is supervised by the Department of Education. You're periodically tested and graded to ensure that you have been sufficiently indoctrinated with these facts before being graduated, and always with the carrot on the stick. The rewards to entice you into memorizing these false facts are words like cum laude diplomas, intelligent quotients, college entrance exams, stats, and rewards like educational scholarships, grants, and the promise of a better job or life, and fewer receive the carrot, do they? They only teach this kind of truth to like royalty and the elite. And those that kind of break out of the Goyim class and become, their genius level, because they know they're going to figure this out eventually by themselves. They don't need to. Just really smart people just automatically are born and look at this whole situation and go, something's wrong here. Let's try and figure out what it is, and then they figure it out. But anyway, to find out more information, I'm going to do some more videos on this type of stuff, but just want to keep the information flowing. And we'll be back next time with some remedies. If you like this kind of information, please like, share, and subscribe. And go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thanks. Oh, that was too light. What the hell? There you go.